The green light on my webcam blinked to life as I joined the Zoom call. Third round interview with Google. Senior software engineer position. 6 figures. The job that would finally get me out of my parents' house and away from their suffocating control. Good morning, Zara. The interviewer's smile was warm and genuine. I'm David Park, engineering manager for the cloud platform team. Ready to dive in? Absolutely, I said, forcing my hands to stop shaking. Thank you so much for. The door behind me burst open. My stomach plummeted as my mother's voice rang out, pitched loud enough for the camera to catch every word. Is this the GOGLE person? I need to speak with them right now. Mom, no, I spun in my chair, but she was already pushing into frame, Dad right behind her. You must stop this interview immediately, Mom announced to my screen. She's too mentally ill to work. She can't handle a job like this. David's expression shifted from confusion to concern. I'm sorry, who are you? Her parents. Her caregivers. Dad emphasized, leaning into view. We keep her medicated for everyone's safety. She's not stable enough for employment, especially not at a big company. Get out, I hissed, trying to push them away. This is illegal. You can't. She has bipolar disorder. Mom spoke over me, enunciating each word like a verdict. Severe type. She hears voices. She's violent. Last month she tried to burn the house down. That's not true. My voice cracked. None of that is true. See how agitated she gets? Dad gestured at me like I was an exhibit. This is exactly what we mean. She can't handle stress. What happens when she snaps at your office? When she has an episode. We're trying to protect you from a lawsuit. I lunged for my laptop to end the call, but Mom grabbed my wrist. Hard. The same grip she'd used since I was 12, whenever I tried to speak up for myself. She's off her medication right now, she continued to David, who sat frozen on screen. Refuses to take it. Says we're controlling her. Classic paranoid delusion. I'm not on medication because I'm not mentally ill. The words ripped from my throat. Denial is part of her condition, Dad said sagely. We've dealt with this for years. The delusions, the violence, the compulsive lying. Did she tell you she graduated from Stanford? She didn't. Did she claim she worked at Microsoft? Also a lie. Her resume is pure fantasy. David cleared his throat. Mr. and Mrs. Okafor. We're just trying to save your company from making a terrible mistake. Imagine when she has a breakdown in your office. Imagine the liability. I see. David's voice was carefully neutral, and you felt it necessary to interrupt this interview to share this information. Someone had to. Mom's grip on my wrist tightened. She's been applying to jobs secretly. We've had to call several companies to warn them. It's our responsibility as her caregivers. Your responsibility, David repeated slowly. Tell me, do you have medical power of attorney over Zara? Both my parents blinked. What? Legal documentation, stating that Zara is mentally incompetent and you have authority to make decisions for her. Well, no, Dad admitted. But as her parents, she appears to be an adult. Living in your home, but legally an adult. Correct? She's 27, Mom said, like it was shameful. Still living at home because she can't take care of herself. Because you won't let me leave. I finally wrenched free from Mom's grip. You hide my documents. You track my phone. You sabotage every. See? Mom turned back to the camera. The paranoia. We don't hide anything. She loses things because of her condition. Mrs. Okafor, David's voice cut through her performance. I need to inform you that this interview is being recorded. It's Google policy for all final round interviews. Everything you've just said is on record. The color drained from Mom's face. Additionally, he continued, interfering with someone's employment opportunities through false statements could be considered defamation, especially if that person has documented proof that contradicts your claims. We're not lying, Dad blustered. She's sick. Tell him about the medication, Zara. Tell him about Dr. Hoffman. Dr. Hoffman hasn't been my doctor for 15 years, I said quietly. Not since he lost his license for over-medicating teenage patients. Remember? You kept taking me to him anyway. Paid cash, so there'd be no insurance trail. You needed those medications. I was 12. I was sad because Grandma died. That's not bipolar disorder. That's grief. Mr. Park, Mom pivoted back to the screen, desperation creeping into her voice. You don't understand what we deal with. The calls we get. The complaints. Just last week. What calls? I interrupted. What complaints? Name one. Your boss at the library said that I was Employee of the Month. 4 times. I pulled up the certificates on my phone, holding them to the camera. That I reorganized their entire digital system. That I trained 3 new employees. What exactly did she complain about? Silence. David leaned forward slightly. Zara, do you have your Stanford transcripts available? Right here. I had everything ready, knowing I'd need proof. I screen shared my official transcript. Summa cum laude. Dean's list every semester. And here's my Microsoft verification letter. 2 years as a junior developer. Left for a startup that got acquired by Amazon. Here's that paperwork too. Those could be forged, Dad said weakly. They're linked directly from the official websites, David noted. I can see the URLs. Ms. Okafor, what medications are you currently taking? None, I said firmly. I take vitamin D and occasionally melatonin for sleep. That's it. I can provide a recent medical evaluation if needed. She's lying, Mom insisted. Check her room. Pills everywhere. The only pills in my room are aspirin and vitamins. You're welcome to verify that. In fact, I stood up, laptop in hand. Let's check right now. I walked to my dresser, streaming everything, and opened my pill organizer. 7 compartments, clearly labeled. Vitamins, calcium, iron. This proves nothing, Dad said. She hides the real medications. Where? You search my room weekly. You go through my trash. You read my journals. Where exactly am I hiding these medications? David's expression had shifted from concern to something else. Understanding, maybe, or recognition. Ms. Okafor, he said carefully. Have you ever been convicted of a crime? No. Ever been hospitalized for mental health reasons? No. Well, yes, when I was 12. For 2 weeks, after my parents told doctors I was suicidal. I wasn't. I was keeping a journal about feeling sad, and they said that was suicidal ideation. Have you ever threatened anyone at work? Never. Had any performance issues, conflicts with colleagues? No, I can provide references from every position. She's very good at hiding it. Mom jumped in. That's part of the illness. She seems normal, but... Mrs. Okafor. David's voice was sharp now. I've interviewed hundreds of candidates. I've also dealt with individuals who have various mental health conditions. What I'm seeing here isn't someone in psychological distress. What I'm seeing is someone whose parents are actively sabotaging their career. How dare you? I dare because it's true, and it's recorded. Every word. Every accusation. Every lie. We're not lying, Dad shouted. She's sick. She needs help. We're protecting her. From a 6-figure job? David asked mildly. From independence? From a life outside your control? You don't know her like we do. Mom's voice dropped to a dangerous whisper. You don't know what she's capable of. What am I capable of, Mom? I turned to face her directly. Tell him what terrible thing I've done. She glared at me. The fire. You mean when I lit a candle for Diwali in my own room, that you claimed was arson? The violence. When I locked my door to stop you from reading my diary, and you called the police saying I was barricaded and dangerous. The lying. About what? Name one lie. One single thing I've lied about. She opened her mouth, then closed it. Dad stepped forward. We're your parents. We know what's best for you. No, I said quietly, you know what's best for you. Keeping me here. Keeping me small. Keeping me dependent. Because if I leave, who's going to clean your house? Who's going to cook your meals? Who's going to be your retirement plan? That's the illness talking, Mom said, but her voice wavered. Is it? Or is it the truth you don't want to hear? David cleared his throat. I think I've seen enough. Ms. Okafor, are you in a safe situation? Do you need resources? The word stuck. Was I safe? I'd lived like this so long, I didn't even know anymore. We would never hurt her, Dad said indignantly. Physical violence isn't the only kind of harm, David replied. Ms. Okafor, Google has partnerships with several organizations that help people in controlling family situations. I can send you information after this call. You're overstepping, Mom hissed. This is family business. You made it my business when you crashed this interview. He turned back to me. Zara, I'm going to end the formal interview here, but I want you to know something. Your technical assessment was flawless. Your system design was innovative. Your behavioral interviews showed leadership, empathy, and resilience. Especially resilience. Tears burned my eyes. Thank you. We'll be in touch within 48 hours with next steps. And Zara? That door is still open. The call ended. Silence filled my room like water. Then Mom laughed, sharp and bitter. Well, have that then. No way they'll hire you now. Not after seeing how unstable our family is. Unstable, I repeated. Our family is unstable. Not me, our family. Don't twist my words. I'm not twisting anything. You just told a Google hiring manager that I'm dangerously mentally ill. You have no proof. No documentation. No evidence. Just your word against mine. And it's all recorded. So what? Dad scoffed. You think they'll hire you after this circus? Maybe, maybe not. But at least now there's evidence. Legal evidence. Of what you do. Of how you lie. Of how you've sabotaged every opportunity I've ever had. We're trying to protect you. From what? I screamed, 15 years of frustration erupting. From success? From independence? From a life that doesn't revolve around you? From yourself, Mom said coldly. You're nothing without us. You know that. Who else would tolerate you? Who else would care for you? I guess we'll find out. I started packing. Not much. They'd know if I took too much. Just essentials. Documents I'd hidden in a tampon box because they'd never look there. The emergency cash I'd saved from online tutoring they didn't know about. My laptop. Where do you think you're going? Dad blocked my door. Out. With what money? What car? What plan? I'll figure it out. You'll be back by dinner, Mom said confidently. You always come back. Remember when you tried to leave for college? For that internship? For that apartment? You came crawling back every time. Because you sabotaged me every time. Called my landlords. Told my roommates I was dangerous. Froze my bank accounts. But this time is different. Why? Because this time I have proof. This time, a Fortune 500 company has a recording of you admitting to sabotaging my employment. This time, if you try to stop me, I'll send that recording to every family member, every friend, every person at your church. I'll post it online. I'll make sure everyone knows exactly what you are. Dad stepped aside. As I passed, he grabbed my arm. Not hard, just enough to remind me he could. You'll regret this, he said quietly, when you're alone, when you fail, when you realize we were right all along. Maybe, I said, but at least it'll be my failure, my choice, my life. I walked out with one backpack and 15 years of suppressed dreams. My friend Amira picked me up 2 blocks away. I texted her from the bathroom during the interview disaster. She'd been waiting ever since. Your parents are psychos, she said as I collapsed into her car. Full psychos. I know. What's the plan? I don't know. Find a cheap motel. Apply for more jobs. Hope Google doesn't blacklist me. Try to survive. Motel? She snorted. You're staying with me. Non-negotiable. Amira. Non-negotiable. My couch has your name on it until you get your Google offer. You think they'll still hire me after that? She grinned. Babe, are you kidding? You just showed them you can handle the worst possible stress with grace. You fact-checked your abusers in real time. You stay professional while your parents tried to destroy your life on camera. If that's not Google material, I don't know what is. My phone buzzed. Email from David Park. Dear Zara, I wanted to reach out immediately following our interrupted interview. First, I want to assure you that your parents' interruption has no bearing on our assessment of your candidacy. If anything, your composure under such circumstances only reinforces our impression of your capabilities. I'm expediting your case to our urgent hiring committee. Additionally, I'm attaching resources for individuals dealing with family control and coercive situations. Google takes employee safety seriously, and that includes prospective employees. We'll be in touch within 24 hours instead of the standard 48. Also, off the record, your parents' claims were clearly fabricated. Anyone who's actually worked with individuals with mental health conditions would recognize the difference between genuine symptoms and parental manipulation. I'm sorry you've endured this. Best, David. I read it 3 times before it sank in. Well? Amira demanded. They're expediting my case to urgent hiring. She whooped so loud I jumped. I told you. Google knows talent when they see it, and toxic parents when they crash interviews. My phone rang. Mom. I declined and blocked the number. Then Dad. Block. The house line. Block. For the first time in 15 years, I wouldn't be taking their calls. Wouldn't be explaining myself. Wouldn't be apologizing for existing. 22 hours later, the offer came through. Senior software engineer. 180K base, plus stock, plus signing bonus. Enough to live alone. Enough to get therapy. Enough to build the life they tried to steal. I accepted immediately. The first person I told was David Park, who responded with a smiley face emoji and welcome to the team. Can't wait to work with someone who can handle any situation. The second was Amira, who screamed and cried and immediately started looking up apartments near Google's campus. I didn't tell my parents. They'd find out eventually, probably when they tried to claim me on their taxes and discovered I'd filed independently, or when they called Google to warn them again and learned I was already thriving there. But that's future Zara's problem. Present Zara is too busy living her allegedly impossible life. Turns out I'm perfectly capable of working, succeeding, and existing without their control. Who would have thought? Everyone except them, apparently. Their loss, my freedom. My life finally beginning at 27. Better late than never.